Hi, I'm Matt Hayes. This DVD is all about how to feed a fish, and I've come here today to Drayton Reservoir near Daventry to a place controlled by the British Waterways Board. Now, this reservoir is a top-up reservoir for the Grand Union Canal and it's absolutely packed with carp. That's what we're going to be fishing for today, but later on in the DVD we'll be jetting off to the river. We're going to the River Wye and I'm going to show you a completely different set of techniques and methods for fishing with a feeder. But today's all about still water fishing, and I'm going to show you a couple of different styles, the basic open-ended feeder and the method feeder. So what are we going to learn? Well, essentially 5 things. We're going to look at the tackle that you need for swim feeder fishing. We're going to look at how to set that tackle up, how to cast a feeder, the feeders themselves, how different feeders can do different jobs, and the sort of baits that you need to fish with a swim feeder. So there's an awful lot of information to get through. And in this one, we're going to be looking at 2 feeder fishing techniques here on Drayton Reservoir. We're going to look at the basic open-ended swim feeder and at the method feeder later on. So we've got an awful lot to get through. First of all though, before we get into the fishing, we need to look at the tackle. Well, this is my tackle, the fishing variety of course, you'll be relieved to know. And what I've got here is a classic swim feeder rod really. Now, you can get these in different power ratings, right the way up from light feeder rods that you might use for quiver tipping for roach, all the way up to the extra heavy variety like this one, which you use to catch big carp. The point is that with the swim feeder rod, the action is always the same. It's the power that is different. This particular rod is at the top end of the range and it's rated for reel lines between 5 and 8 pounds, and it's designed to cast heavy feeders and deal with big fish. The key to a feeder rod's action is that all of the action really is in the top 1/3 of the rod. The bottom 2/3 of the rod are actually quite stiff. The top third is fairly flexible. Now that will enable you to cast further and cast with more accuracy. So it is a dedicated action and you must choose a rod of this variety if you're going to do a lot of feeder fishing. The reel, well, really you can use any reliable fixed spool reel provided that it has a good reliable drag system. It must give line smoothly. A lot of the fish that you'll catch on the feeder are quite hard fighting fish, and if you've got a reel with a poor or jerky drag system, you're going to lose a lot of fish. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the gearing ratio of the reel is quite important, particularly if you're after big fish. I like one around 5 or 5.2 to 1 because that gives you cranking power to control a big fish when it's running very hard. A high retrieve ratio means a loss of power, so go for around 5 or 5.2 to 1. And to be honest, that's about it really. It's not particularly complicated. What we do need to look at though, of course, are the feeders and what they look like and the job that they do.